Ooh.
There he is.
To the wizard school of Let's Drone Out. Window lever.
Wingardium Levioso.
Yeah.
Ah, that was so close.
You're supposed to be Harry Potter now, are you?
I came out as a Hufflepuff in the test as well, and so did my daughter. So we're all potatoes in this household.
I've got some Harry Potter glasses here. Hang on. There we go.
Oh yeah, you look
You
really
literally
like
become
him.
Harry Potter.
Take your hat off and
Actual
you are him.
glasses.
Right, donations to take your hat off and
Hang on a sec.
go on.
Just
You're
give
a
me
wizard, Andrew.
And a damn fine good one, I have wagered.
Present Andy, please.
Oh, Jack, you're
Look, see, he's managed to disappear. That's magic. Just
There it is. He's coming back.
Does it take this long to take off a hat?
when you have to stroke your hair all down again.
He's northern. It's a difficult task.
Where's he gone?
The anticipation now is really high. Like it
Is there
has
a-
to be
is
really
there-
good.
Is there a chat group? Is there people in it?
Here you go.
There he
Yeah, like
is.
Harry Potter.
Bloody
Look
hell.
at that.
Fucking
Very
him.
nice.
That is
Wizard,
incredible.
Andrew. You're a
Very
fucking
nice.
wizard.
That is weird.
That is so good.
Oh,
The thing
that's
is-
amazing.
You can totally pull as
Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe, whoever he was.
Daniel
You
Radcliffe,
need to just
Yeah.
go out like that all the time.
You're just like, yeah, I'm just down doing some, off-Broadway stuff.
That's not a compliment, is it?
Yeah, there's loads of people that want their one up them. I want him to rustle in the old sorting hat, if you know what I mean.
Fill me with your magic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm done with magic myself. Filling people with
Aw.
magic.
Oh.
I've had enough of it.
Oh yeah.
Feels really weird. Like I keep looking over at my bed and I'm like, red bed sheets.
You need to put a copter on it and start talking about it.
No, yeah.
I did all that to try and stand out. I guess you could say it worked a little bit.
Oh yeah, it definitely works. That's like your
I
thing,
thought-
isn't it?
The only problem is the room became very difficult to sleep in because all the colors were just so mad. Like the bright red, the wall was checkerboard originally.
Don't lie, we all know it's just your recording studio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
go ahead,
that was the idea originally, yeah, because it was for when I ran a music channel some time ago, and it was to try and stand out with that. But it's horrendous to try and sleep when there's so many bright colours and things going on.
I try shutting my eyes. That seems to work.
Are you making a potion, Andy RC?
I'm needing my ice cream
Oh,
Oh,
he's
no, not
ice
that
cream
again.
night in it.
Oh,
Having
this.
a waz.
because I'm up north and I've got no teeth. I have to have it soft so that I can sort of, everything is liquidized.
You know, you can just cut out the middleman and not bother putting it in the freezer. And then it's a nice drink.
Then it's just no. I like it. I like it sort of.
Is
Milk-
it butter?
milk-
Is it butterqueer flavour? No, butterbeer.
What?
flavour.
I think buttercream
Come
is
on, Jimmy. Hufflepuff.
I think butterqueer is what you get. That's the cream of some young wizard, isn't it, or something?
Oh, wizard.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Dave's story. I think Dave is just subscribed to our Patreon, so thanks for joining us, mate. Hope you're all right. Haven't seen you for a while. Yeah,
No.
it's funny.
Fucking wizard. Yeah. Any questions for anyone in the chat? I've got a question for
Why?
you guys.
Just why?
If you could body swap, right? You know how like, we played all each other, right? Who would you be for the day, and what improvements or like differences would you make in that person's life?
Definitely,
Well,
I would beat Andy RC. Now I know he can do a complete Daniel Radcliffe impression. I would just go out and cause havoc as Daniel Radcliffe
Yeah.
and like get on the news about how Daniel Radcliffe was in some drunken orgy and like tried beating up people in clubs and stuff like that.
I think there's more chance of the actual Daniel Radcliffe being in a drunken orgy than me.
Totally. I really think you could pull that off and get laid quite a lot of the time.
It was
also
uncanny. Genuinely, you have the look absolutely dead ringer. You should exploit that.
You really should exploit that. I'd
for,
be
for
out.
sex and
Like,
all
go
sorts.
to
He can't
Pizza
open his mouth because it'll be like, oh, David. Hey, I'm Doc.
Believe it
No,
or
just
not.
be like, yeah, I'm trying to get in character as like a miner, so I'm up here, up north, where it's
I'm
grim.
trying to get in character as a
Believe it or not, looking a little bit like Harry Potter does not get, looking like a little boy who should be in school. It's not a good look, believe it or not.
Some girls
Yeah,
really
it's
do.
always bad to look like millionaire actors, isn't it? They never get girls.
You should just go to the Premier Inn and like stand on the balcony and like wave at people. Just fuck them up.
That's why I wear a hat, it's so I don't get recognised. but not as Andy RC, as Daniel Radcliffe.
Could you imagine if, like, we've been taking the piss out of Daniel Radcliffe all along? And it
And
wasn't?
that's who I am.
Yeah, that's who
That's
you
my
actually are.
that's my outlet. I know Vernon Kay does or he used to do not FPV, but he used to do RC planes as a hobby. Vernon Kay.
Mm.
He's like a
The fat curry kitten.
no, that's Peter Kay.
Oh, yeah.
You idiot.
Doesn't Vernon Kay didn't he used to do Top of the Pops and stuff like that, and like
Peter Kay's funny.
Vernon Kay used to do that.
He's proper northern, isn't he? Big
Vernon Kay was married to, or is he still married to? What's that bird
Tess
off?
Daly.
The
Yeah,
thin
Tess
one
Daly.
with the blonde hair. Yeah, that's it.
This was all going to be lost on David because
Yes.
he's only famous in the UK, really, isn't he? But
Okay.
but he does apparently the RC hobby as a side thing, just to relax.
He's got Google and he can watch TV. He's not blind,
What?
David.
I know, but when you're talking about something very specific in the UK,
Yes, for sure. I'm not up to the lingo with the kids,
yeah.
We've got a serious question in the chat from
Oh.
Dave Story, the new Patreon. Is 3-inch the new 5-inch? Because it's so quick and nimble and has no regulations on it. Well,
It depends,
It
really.
does have regulations on it. It's
Well,
no different from anything
does
else.
it though? Because
Well, under
it's
250
under-
grams, you can do a little bit more with them, can't you?
Yeah, that's what I think he means.
Because they're just toys.
Well, I think the only difference with the 250 grams is if it's under 250 grams, you don't register it when registration comes in sometime next year.
Well, that's enough.
That's like
I like your hair like that. I think you should wear the tinfoil hat before you go out.
I
okay.
would say it depends what you want to do, because if you're wanting to do freestyle flying, then you're gonna want like HD footage, aren't
Oh,
you?
you can now with a Cadex and a Runcam too.
They're not as good though, are they? They're not
Yeah,
as good
but
as a
they're-
GoPro.
I've seen some really nice 3-inch flying through like malls and stuff, and then the stuff's rewound, so it's like all slow flying all through really tight little gaps and stuff like that, all and then rewound footage. It looks really good. And I was flying with a guy in America who had a 3-inch quad, and man, he was ripping as hard as a 5-inch quad. And if you put a Cadex in that,
Yeah, I mean, but like from a racing perspective, I'm really surprised that they haven't gone to 3-inch, because all of the testing that I've done, they're faster than 5-inch. They accelerate faster. They slow down faster. This copter here, I actually took it out of the weekend because someone asked me the same question at a local chat, and this is my favorite one, and it's also the fastest copter I've got. What is that? They don't make it anymore, unfortunately. But you know, Sky Zone, who makes the goggles, it's their 3-inch. It's called the Sky Zone S140, and for some reason they've stopped making it. But it's superb. I mean, you can still get the frame and you can build one. But
I think I actually do think 3 inches is the way forward.
Well, I clocked this one. It's top speed 114 mile per hour.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy for 3. And I've tried to get a
3S.
That's 4S. To get a 5-inch go that same speed, you have to go 6S. You know.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. So I would say at the moment in this country, it's all still up in the air, isn't it? Regulation wise. So
I think 3S 3-inch will be the new.
Probably when the regulations come in.
Yeah, because they are so fast. There's no real difference in speed. It's only the case of like, well, you can't really carry a proper HD camera. But then again, if you're in, it depends what you want to fly. Because in a more compressed space where you don't want that much speed, you want maneuverability, the sort of 2.5-inch or the 2-inch work really nicely as well. It's all depending, isn't it?
The Emax stuffs, the Emax little 2-inch races are set up so well now. We're doing a baby hawk league every other Sunday now in the barn because they just fly so well.
They do fly
we're actually having, you know, we're setting up a little thing to fly every other Sunday in this barn, and they just fly incredible.
I loved it. I like the fact that you can get these things like the Baby Hawk, and you could just get it and you get it out of the box, and you can, you know, a couple of twiddles on like doing your modes and sub
that's all you
That's
gotta
it.
do.
That's all you got to do. Don't touch the pid tuning because it flies fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
What
Really-
battery are you running that on? The Baby Hawk.
3S 650 milliamp.
Yeah, you suggested the 650, and you were right. They work really nicely.
Yeah, they're perfect size. The 650s. That's what I use.
Yeah.
And I'm generally
And the 4S doesn't really make that much difference. 3S is just as fast as the 4S.
I'm generally an 850 4S on a 3-inch. Is that what you use, Andy or Tony or anybody?
I'm still 3S 650.
It depends
for me.
because you've got two different types of 3-inch now. You've got the one like this one, which is using these are 1506 stator motors. So it's kind of like
bit bigger, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, heavyweight. But all of these the Emax 3-inch and what else is there as well? There's the leader, the full speed leader. They're using the 11 stator motors, so like 1106. So it really depends on. So those ones I would say 650 milliamp because 850 milliamps a little bit too heavy for them and they get really hot. So I do 850 milliamp 4S on the 14 and 15 stator motors, and then I do 650 milliamp on the 11 stator motors.
Okay, I've got a question in the chat from Underfluked, one of our main Patreons. He says, if I order a mini tricopter right now on RC Explorer, do I need the mini tricopter kit and the mini tricopter electronics kit, or do I need something else as well? I have batteries and RX.
A battery connector, like an XT60 Rosla P-tail, and a beeper I would recommend. Otherwise, you should be good to go.
Because the beeper's for the tail tune, not for what turns Curry getting on.
Beeps! Things are going beep!
Not a real issue.
Underfluked has a tricopter in the basket right now, like waiting to hit go. I think you can hit go, man. I think you'll be all right, Underfluked.
Thanks, man.
Is there any chance of a 3-inch tricopter?
I would love to. I need to find a good servo for it. It is painfully expensive to do a new servo, or even changing an existing one.
Emax come out with some really good metal servos, haven't they?
Oh, have they?
I think so, unless I've been sniffing the old whatever Tony sprayed in his beard.
I want to say
the smaller, the faster the servo needs to move as well.
Yeah, there was that chap
It
who was.
gets-
There was a chap who'd done a brushed tricopter. Remember, he was going to send me one, but apparently he could never get it flying nicely or something. What was his name? Do you remember? We met. He was at Western Park, Jack, when we were there.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. But I tell you who it was. It was Carlos got one, hadn't he? Carlos came on the show and he got one.
Yes.
But I haven't heard anything off that since. But yeah, apparently they're quite. So perhaps that's right, David. They're, like you say, they're probably more trickier with the servo setup. The smaller they get, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed. Frank hasn't managed to destroy his. Is it still going?
Well, I mean, it still technically functions.
Is this because you haven't tried to fly it recently?
Mainly, yeah.
He wants to sue David because he hates red bottom motors so much.
Yeah, I really don't like the red bottom.
What's wrong with red bottom?
I've still got red bottoms on a couple of my quads from 2.5 years ago. Well, good.
I keep having to replace them because they keep going up in flames.
Oh, man.
Really?
Old. You got the lot.
I've never had one fail yet.
Nor have I.
I'm beginning to fear this is Andy's touch of doom once again. If he touches it, it will explode.
Hang on, can I share my screen? Hang on, share. If I go to this and then I type the word porn.
Is this a good idea?
Hold on, Underfluked, I'll find out.
Hang on, porn.
David, is there a discount coupon available for Underfluked if he orders right now? Can he get 10% off, something like that, if he puts something in?
Hold on.
Or can we, I can tell you his address and you can take some money off or something? I don't know.
Hold on. It's easier. I'll make him a coupon now.
Cool.
It's what you get for being on the after show, you know?
Yep. Hold on, Underfluked. Something's coming, bro.
I've got a video.
What are you showing us, Jack?
I think it's on this hard drive that
I don't want to see bad stuff. Isn't do my brain?
Isn't actually connected to the try documents.
Oh God. Where does it? Oh, don't do.
I've got a video of me destroying. I hook up red bottom motors to ridiculous ESCs and then set fire to them.
Oh, is that when we were at your old workplace when we ran?
No. This is what I do in my pastime.
Do you remember when we ran
naked photos of Tony?
Look at that! There is actual folder saying naked photos.
Where is that? Naked photos.
That is Patreon only. One day they might get released if we're desperate.
Damn it! I haven't got it on here, man.
Jack, can I ask though? Were they legitimate red bottoms? Because a birdie told me that there were copies out there that were being sold under a certain company's name.
Yeah. As far as I know.
Has Andy got those types of red bottoms?
No, because he bought them from David.
Ah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I've never had a problem.
Now I
with
feel
those.
I've never had a problem with any of my baboon motors.
That's actually why I keep selling them. I haven't had anyone complain about them.
Must be Andy's.
Yeah, but everyone's too nice to you, David, to complain.
That is very true.
Do you know what I mean? I'd never complain to you, even though I destroy everything that you give me.
Well, I've still got DT750s on my tricopter. That's the original.
Oh, Frank, no.
Frank's having an issue.
Frank's gone.
Okay, coupon code LDO-10.
There you go, Underfluked.
Whoa, is that a 10 whole %?
Uh-huh.
Is that because you're not there to fulfill the order? He's going to be waiting. It's going to be waiting 10 whole weeks.
That would be pretty bad. No, Gianna's home and she packages.
Oh, bless her. There you go, Underfluked. If you need it, brilliant. Thank you. There you go. probably ordering it right now. Thanks, David.
Sure.
There's an LDO discount code. That's fucked up.
But,
Last time that happened, the place shut down. The last few places shut down, in fact.
I've got to go and check if I let my dog back in because he ain't gone up.
If I unplug this, I wonder what that does.
This is the thing I made, by the way. I was talking about before. It's a paper. It's called.
Oh, it looks slightly bigger than I thought. That normal sort of paper airplane sort of kit is a bit smaller and pathetic. This looks.
It's made out of foam and it's got 2 servos and too many servos underneath. So you've got proper Alevons on the back there. Little ones.
But is it like a mobile phone accelerometer thing, like they mostly are?
No, that's a D. It's you can't see it because it's all washed out, but it's got a little mini flight controller here. It's a D8 receiver, FreeSky built into it. It's pretty cool.
Is it supposed to be for indoors then, or is it?
Yeah, that's the problem. Or a very calm day, which of course we've got 20-mile-an-hour winds at the moment, so I can't fly it. There is an indoor flying place around here. I might they go on a Tuesday, so I might take it there and maybe do a bit of a video on that. Yeah, there's like a nice indoor. I don't think they do FPV there though. Like a quite like old generation of line of sight guys, I think so. But there's no FPV on this, so I think it's you turn up, pay like £5 or something, and then you can just fly in this hall. So not sure what the rules are on filming it though, but yeah, I got that. No, it binds. They sent it to me with the new jumper transmitter. You know, the multi-protocol.
Yeah.
One. They've brought out. It's
so tiny, isn't it?
Yeah, they've brought out a Hall effect version now, so it's OpenTX like the Tyrannus, and it's got Hall sensor gimbals. And the original one was that bright yellow, if you remember.
Yeah.
So they brought out
takes
a black.
ages to load when you switch it on.
This one.
Like the original yellow one.
Yeah, it does. It's not too bad. I think I have to press that. That's loaded. Yeah, they're really cheap though. They got in a bit of trouble though because it turns out there's a lot of parts in here that are just direct clones from the Q7. So OpenTX said you can't use OpenTX even though it's called OpenTX.
I don't get that. I'm sure if you look at the terms of service of their open source license, it's like, yeah, you can use this. And then but they got unhappy with it.
I think no, I think they say they said that they can use the firmware, but you're gonna have to go off on another branch because even though it's OpenTX, it's sort of basically dedicated to FreeSky more or less. Open, even though it's called OpenTX, so that's got Jumper TX written on it. And I think then the Nirvana thing, I think that's going to be Nirvana TX. So
this sounds like FreeSky are actually funding them then and get very upset if some other manufacturer jumps on.
That's exactly what I thought, but I didn't. I wouldn't. You know, I'm trying to be very careful in what I say with stuff like that because yeah, I mean, that's the impression you get. I mean, it would make sense that if they were unhappy, if it was just an open source thing, then you wouldn't care who used it, would you? But if someone comes out with something and they open it and go, oh, these are all copied FreeSky components, well, we're not going to let you use it. It makes you think that, oh, well, perhaps OpenTX work closely with FreeSky more than we know, and perhaps they've become, or they get kickback maybe off the sales. This is all just me speculating now.
Get the tinfoil hat, Frank.
I think I know the guy that runs the OpenTX site. I'll have to pose him a question.
Yeah.
See what he says.
But I wouldn't half be surprised. I mean, you know, when you say OpenTX, you just instantly think FreeSky or FrSky or whatever. People tell you off if you call it FreeSky. Why in the comments, I get, I don't know. I thought I said Free Sky because Bruce Simpson called it Free Sky originally.
Yeah.
But everyone said I did a video on the X-Lite, and all the comments were, "Stop calling it Free Sky. It's FR Sky." I'm like, who even cares that much to write that?
Start calling it Free SKY or something.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, but anyway, that's that.
I mean, it is missing an E, isn't it?
To be fair, yeah.
There's too many syllables if you have to say. I can't got time for this extra syllable. That's like a week of my life further down the road.
Yeah, I wonder if it originates from JR, FR, JR. I don't know. Maybe it's that, because that's what it's a copy of JR's radio, isn't it?
Yeah. It should be called CR, Chinese radio. If that was the case. Dave, has there been any updates on Tri-Fly at all?
No, it hasn't. The guy that made it, he's out of the hobby for the moment.
Oh,
the main dude.
How comes?
Family stuff.
Oh.
There is a Betaflight version of Tri-Flight though, because that's what I installed. I think it's on 3.17, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's the latest.
Yeah, I mean, it worked great on my one. That's what I used. There is a tutorial Underfluked. I did a video on all of that, which is like it's like if that's still the latest, then
it is. It's on the product video, on the product pages. Your video is on there.
Oh, awesome! Cool.
We could do a voice sample for Underflukes. Maybe David should say something. Like
Does David agree to this?
Hold on. I could be David though, couldn't I? Hold on.
Do you keep it on your hard drive or your floppy, Jack? It's a bit hard to say.
Maybe you don't get David to say that.
I have to say,
I've still got Final Glide Oz on my transmitter when I turn my transmitter on.
Nice.
I have to say, I had a lot of fun building the tricopter. It was like I built so many quadcopters, and it was just nice to, be, just have something else and
be challenged.
It was awesome when it flew for the first time, and it's like, oh man, because it look when you're building it, you're thinking. And you're thinking, what? There's like a feedback wire. No, this isn't gonna work. And it just worked. It was. I followed everything from your original video, and it was cool. So you'll have a good time with that for sure.
Man, I like you kids today with your feedback servo. I had that servo with no feedback on like Tri-Flight 2. Oh my god!
Tri-Flight luxury. KK, the original KK board is what I used.
I had original KK as well, you little bastards.
Yeah,
I flew with 4 gyros.
Yeah, if you want it to tune, that's a screwdriver.
Oh no, I never went that far.
That is proper old school, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
50 hertz update rate, man. That was the days.
What did you use to do? I was surprised you even used the transmitter. I suppose you just didn't just use the postcards. Just like a postcard.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It did work. It really was amazing. And I got to I got to fly all over the world doing video shoots and that with 3 sticks and some flat pancake motors with bright orange props.
Oh my god, Larry!
I love the Niagara Falls one still.
Have you still got the weird triangular like carry case antenna?
Yeah.
Oh my word!
I love it. I still love it. It does so good. 1.3. When you fly 5.8, you're like, oh, this is pretty good. I get good range, and then you put out the 1.3, and I have a woods between me. And then there's a field that's about 2 kilometers long. And then there's a railroad. And then there's another 2 kilometers of open field. And I can easily fly ground level the whole way, 4 kilometers through.
Without probably breakup or multipathing either.
No, it's amazing. I really love it.
I used to watch that guy. That guy, Bonafide Pirate, still flies 1.3. Yeah. And he did a video where he tried 5.8 once. Because he flies, what he's done is he's got back garden, and he's built like a grass runway, and he's got a little hut that he's built, and he flies sometimes 10 kilometers out. It's just nothing but fields around him, and he flies like inside this little hut thing. He's got his FPV monitor. He's got his 1.3 aerial that goes outside, and it's like a, you know, it's like an antenna tracker, and he can fly all around his area through trees. It looks a bit like Bardwell's place actually, and not a single bit of breakup. And then he'd switch to 5.8, and it was just a complete wipeout. So if we were allowed to use 1.3,
don't we get super arrested? Military band
over here. Actually,
loads of people use 1.3 over here still.
Oh, they do. You shouldn't do though.
Yeah, but no one gets arrested at the moment.
You used to. When Ofcom had more money, they used to employ. Because I know, because we had a guy in our flying club who worked for Ofcom, and his job was to basically just drive around in a van and look for people. It was actually more for pirate radio back then, actually, rather than what we do. But apparently,
not so much of a problem anymore then.
No, so they don't have them. So I mean, I would not condone it because it is illegal. But there's a good chance that if you did use
Mr. BBC
3. No one's gonna.
I think you need to fucking tell David this story, you fucking gobshite of the North.
Okay, so when I first started doing this, I started doing this 2011, 2012 FPV, and I was looking at all of the stuff that you needed. Like, I'm not even sure if Fat Shocks were out. They were very expensive and weren't very good. So I found a video transmitter from China that transmitted on the 433 band. It was a video transmitter. And so over here in the UK, it was, I think we got like digital TV. It was fully digital, but we'd still got some TVs in the house that had the analog setting on there. So what I did was I got this. I made this little brushless copter, and I put this video transmitter on it, and I could tune the aerial in the house that was the roof. That was on the roof, and I could fly because it was 433 as well. It was and it was like 200 milliwatt, you know, so it was like really powerful. And I
do what?
I'd fly all around the house, through the house, and it was brilliant because I'm flying FPV off an actual TV. I'm sat in front of a TV. And what was I using for control? I think I was using 2.4 gig for control, but I put a massive 2-watt Wi-Fi booster on it. So the control wasn't a problem, and the 433, I don't think the channel I were on wasn't interfering. But anyways, what was happening was I didn't realize is even though like TV had gone digital now, they still ran on those frequencies. So all of the neighbors' TVs stopped working. And one day I was outside, and there's like this guy having like this. He was having his aerial looked at because his TV keeps going funny, and that's when I realized I can't do this anymore. Because it was me flying around. I thought,
wow, that is an awesome story.
That was before I didn't know what I was doing either. I didn't know, you couldn't do that. I was just.
It's on the internet. I can buy it. It must be fine.
Yeah, exactly. But and then I started my channel and learned all about the stuff that you can do, and I would never do it again. But
my favorite ignorant moment was like, David, come over, build me a taser. And he was like, yeah, sure. And then I looked up the law on the UK for a taser, exactly the same restrictions as owning a handgun, 5 years in prison. I was like, David, don't do that. He was like well up for it.
I think I'm stuck on being presented to everyone, by the way. I don't know if you know. It's not switching for me.
Oh. I didn't notice that. I was
I'm
just
sure that was a
staring
nice
at-
shot. Sure, it's a nice shot for all the patrons.
We're just taking it all in.
Yeah.
100% Andy RC.
Andy, will you? If I get the tattoo of up north on my arm and gave you half the money, would you get yours done?
Absolutely not. No. I don't have any.
Andy would have to have soft southern bastards written on his arm or something like that.
I kind of get angry.
Have you got any tattoos?
No, I haven't.
Don't.
The reason I haven't got, not because I don't like them. I've always had like really bad skin, like as in blemishes and acne and all that kind of stuff. So I always get jealous of people who've got perfect skin and then just cover themselves in tattoos, and I'm like, no. If I had it's just a personal thing though. I imagine if I'd never had skin problems or whatever, I would have done the same, because it's artwork, isn't it? But to me, it's it's something I can't have. Is like flawless skin.
Frank, what are you eating?
You got loads of tattoos. You got one on your face, I can see.
I'm eating a carrot.
Frank, why are you eating carrots? Raw carrots? Have you lost a bet or something?
Vegan.
You gone vegan?
No.
Well, he's being me, isn't he?
Whilst you weren't here, Tony, David came up with a new word for this, which is a meat carrot, which is now what I'm going to call a pepperoni.
Meat carrot.
Those are disgusting, those things are.
Dave says,
Right,
off topic, Andy RC in a last vlog, you mentioned astrophotography. Any plans for that?
Yeah, I love that was something I wanted to do. Again, it was just not having the time to do it all. I'd love to. I wanted to do a separate channel, because you can send yourself crazy if you just do drones. I mean, there is such thing as having to, like, if you've got a good thing and you do it too much, you can still get fed up of it. So I've got loads of other stuff that I like to do, and astrophotography is one of them. And I still do that and play music and stuff. But to actually put content together, it's a huge thing. I want to do it, and maybe I will do it, because I don't know where this whole drone thing is going to lead. Anyways, I don't know if it's going to be like all of a sudden no one's going to care about it anymore. And if that's the case, then maybe I would do something else like that. But for now, all of my focus is on like drones and RC stuff.
I'm going to be a Andy RC Freddie Mercury impersonator.
that's very a very niche thing.
Well, you've got fucking Daniel Radcliffe to fall back on. You're all right.
No, I have not. He's about 10 years younger than me as well. I'm like,
you could pull it off.
12.
You could pull it off and get laid every night.
I'm telling you, Tony, it does not work like that. I've got the first.
You've never been out on the town with those glasses.
Why do you own them then?
Get me Merkin going, and I'll be salted.
So put that on top of your head, and then put your headphones on. I want to just see.
Hold on, then.
I want to see the.
He looks like that's really good. That's how people have their haircut these days.
He looks like John Lydon.
Oh, maybe I should fucking I should go out like this.
Isn't that haircut called Meet Me at McDonald's or something?
Looks like a football player. Like
Tears for Fears back in the 80s.
Yeah, man, I can do that and shit.
If you didn't spray it to death. Oh, it's just
Let's see if I can do a parting or whatever. I used to have curtains. My hair, if I let it grow, it actually does this.
You got any pictures, Tone, back in the day?
I have, but
during the course of the show, you've gone grey, Tony.
No. Dealing with you like this is honestly what my hair used to be like when I was. Well, if I let it grow, it does this. I used to ride to work on a motorbike. So I used to get my motorbike helmet and put my hair gel in the motorbike helmet, put the motorbike helmet on, ride to work, which was like 16 miles, take my helmet off, and then just do that and then go to work.
Nice.
That sounds like the worst content of your hobby. The Jack's wank sock.
I'll get the pictures for next week.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. Actually used to squirt the gel in the helmet.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, what happened to that helmet? Did it crawl away?
It became its own life form.
It was fucking great. That's how I used to roll. We used to have curtains back in the day when we used to go to raves and that. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, you get his white gloves on.
Well, what do you guys think about where the whole drone thing is going? Do you think it could fade out, or am I just being cynical?
I think we're all fucked.
It's not going to fade out. I think what the problem is, there was this big explosion of people getting excited, and of course people thought this it's going to carry on like this unending growth, and of course that doesn't happen. It goes over a curve, then goes down a bit, and then people who are into it stay into it. So there's always there is a following, but it doesn't have this sort of crazy everyone's coming into it and stuff. So perhaps as we found, because there's no real new tech coming out at the moment, so everybody releasing new quads is it's much the same as the other quad. The frames looking the same, the motors don't look any different, the flight controllers are still the same. It's all samey. So there's just not that much variety, so people keep flying the same old stuff, I guess.
Meanwhile, David's bicopter bitch.
Take motors away, not add them.
I'm still waiting for the monocopter.
I told you, I've already invented it.
I think
it's just a fucking motor with an ESC and just throw it in the air.
It's a free flight model.
Yeah, free flight.
I actually did. I have a friend that did back in the day when they flew the balsas with the tiny little engine, single cylinder, small little angry ones. When they crashed a plane, it would obviously get destroyed, and then they couldn't fly anything more that day. So they just took the motor and put it on a rag, and spun up the motor and just threw it. Literally a flying rag until the fuel run out. Looks pretty funny in the pictures, but yeah, can make one of those.
That sounds like a plan. I feel like I could possibly manage that.
Yeah. Setup is going to be on Beta Flight 204, and it's going to be. I don't know.
I want to see. I say this all the time, and I was talking to Andy about it last week. I want to see proper smoke systems for RC electric aircraft, that are good enough to be able to using the vape systems or Andy's experimenting with a fog machine. Are you, Andy, at the moment? Stuff like that.
I've got that to play around with at some point, but
that's another Jack.
No.
Jack and Andy video.
That just needs me to be somewhere that I can. Well, I guess I could probably do it outside here. Just, I don't know. I'd probably end up with a fire brigade turning up and turning me off.
Smoke machine.
Yeah, it's got a big. There we go.
How does this?
Hello, green patches. Your quad is coming soon. Your X class is on the way. It's just we've got some VCX issues. We'll sort it out.
That looks quite heavy to attach to anything, Frank.
That's the problem.
Well, I've got smaller bits and pieces as well, but I want to take that one apart and see what actually needs to be there to do things.
I can share my recipe for rocket fuel. It makes a lot of smoke.
David, you're on a podcast. Stop talking. Shut up, David. For crying out loud. David, for the love of God.
It's great. When you don't burn it in a constricted space, it makes a lot of good smoke.
Sorry, Dave. It's just like
No.
liability.
Fuel and oxidizer is fine.
I mean, the fact
Yeah.
that David didn't actually put it on anything he was flying just goes to show that it must be too insane to do that.
Oh,
It was
no, he
actually
did.
mostly my wife that told me not to. I'm gonna end up with that rocket in a field, and the cow is gonna eat it, and then I'm gonna be liable for things.
Rocket cow.
Dave's asking, Dave's story, why did 3D never catch on? Is it too difficult? 3 means like 3D FPV. I think Zoe answered it, didn't she? I think she sort of said it's all to do with the amount of loss of power you get from having a prop that spins both directions. You don't have that punch.
And the resolution.
And the resolution is halved with your stick, isn't it? Yeah. And also there's the issue of there's like the smooth transition of the motor stopping and going. She'd experimented all side, like when some motors have an extra sensor on them. She was trying, like, I can't remember. I saw a video that she did once, and some 3D specific motors.
Yeah.
There's no no change in torque, I guess, is the issue when they switch. You'll always get a bit of a jolt, and I think, well,
there was some collective pitch quads made as well, and they didn't really catch on either, did they?
Yeah, same sort of reason, I think.
You couldn't FPV them, could you? Because when they banned David, they used to shake themselves to bits.
Yeah, and as soon as you touched anything, they just exploded.
Yeah,
it was just basically 4 collective pitch helicopters strapped to a thing with one motor, and it was pretty bad. I flew one. It's great. I mean, it's smooth enough for line of sight, but it's just too complicated and not robust enough.
Yeah, so that didn't catch on either. But I still haven't had a go at 3D FPV. I keep saying it's something that I want to do, but I guess you can. Yeah, you can. The thing is that a lot of the maneuvers that we do with a quadcopter can be done for a small amount of time without doing 3D. You just obviously you fall to the ground rather than staying there. And
I had a go of it once with it was a really shaky quad to start with, so I keep thinking I must go back with a proper quad now, beta flight's a bit better, and give it another go. But it's quite interesting just to sort of turn over and then put the stick down and say, look, I'm going upwards. But the problem was when he crashed, automatically I'm like throttle down, and like that's not bad because you sort of launch up backwards into the air and like, oh, that's not right, I've done the wrong thing.
Super turtle mode.
Exactly. Interesting, but it's kind of like, I feel it's kind of cheating. It's kind of like the whole thing about sort of going into an inverted thing and doing something is kind of you're defying gravity for a little while, and you're doing this, I know how I'm falling and I'm going to come out of it right, as opposed to just like, yeah, now I'm flying upside down and now I'm spinning back round again, sort of thing.
I think the impressive stuff that Zoe does though, where she's going through gates upside down, and
that's super cool because of course all the controls are different. So pushing around and means different things.
There are a couple of toy copters that came out. I think Microdrone was one of them actually, where they had a 3D mode and you pressed the button and it flipped upside down. But when it was upside down, it reversed all the controls. So it was just like the same as flying the right way up. And I always wondered if you could do that. You probably could with Betaflight or a mix on your transmitter. And so it's easier for people. Maybe that's the limitation, is that when you are upside down, the only thing that stays the same is your roll, but everything else is reversed. So maybe that could be
forwards becomes backwards, and
even the yaw's the most tricky one to try and coordinate a turn inverted. Is both of the sticks going together rather than moving sideways? They're going inwards and outwards.
I have trouble talking.
Doing that. And you need to have a really flat camera angle as well, because if you then flip over and you're camera angle's probably facing upwards, of course it's then facing straight downwards.
Well, that's where Zoe has the skill, because she can adapt to that camera angle and can still fly even with a, you know. But for me, yeah, I'd want a flat camera angle.
Did you
Look at Andy RC being doggist.
Did you see the Rotor Riot bit where they were chasing the caravan into where they were going, and then like there's a bit where there was a quad what flew, and then it was inverted for so long, and then you think, what the fuck, pull out, and then it's Zoe where she bounces back up and carries on flying. You think, Zoe, Rotor Riot. It's fucking cool. I was like, wicked, that's so good.
Jack, what are you doing? You having a go at me for what?
Oh, you be like, Zoe FPV, she's a woman, she can do two things at once.
It's nothing about that. This is you turning it into a gender thing, Jack. You're one of these you become a social justice warrior.
Snowflakes for everyone.
You know what it's like up north. Bernard Manning's still their local hero there, so it's taken a while for equal opportunities to catch on.
Frank, how comes you wearing a jacket, man?
Because it's cold, that's why.
What? Is it? Like, it's super warm. It's like 18 degrees out in the middle of the night.
I was going to say, it's not cold here either. Maybe we're going down with something.
These are those sexist batteries I was telling you about. It's got a naked lady sitting on a rocket.
It's not a dildo, though, is it?
No, but she's wearing FPV goggles. They're called Full Send, and some batteries that are going to be coming out. Have you tried them yet?
I'm going to do a review on them, like totally rag them till they're dead and then charge them back up again, like Embo Astro or something.
I'm in the middle of doing that. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what people are going to say about this logo thing.
I think you should cut out tape and into clothes and then put the clothes on her,
or just blur it out. Yeah. No, it's a company trying to get batteries from China into Europe and the UK because it's quite difficult to do, isn't it?
It's expensive to do.
Yeah. So that's what they're trying to do on the cheap. Because like all of those companies, like you try and buy batteries now from China, to the UK, it's all not available. You have to. So I don't know how. I guess we have to buy them locally. Well, I'm having to. Anyways.
Yeah, I like to get my last lot locally.
Yeah, so this is a Chinese company trying to get them to Europe and like UK, realizing that they're quite difficult to get hold of. It's the iFlight is the company who's doing these batteries, but I'm not sure about the lady on the rocket. I don't know what the reaction is going to be to that in this day and age. You know,
you should do two videos. You should do, if you want to see the uncensored video.
Yeah, Patreon's only.
Yeah,
you want to see what I really think about this.
I see. Join my personal Snapchat, you know, and like wiggle the battery out of them. That's it.
What you need to do is just colour that one in so you can body paint some clothes on her.
My problem is I don't know if it's right or wrong. I really don't know. Is that okay?
Just stick it on there, I would, because you didn't make it and you're not condoning it. This is this is it. Yeah. Unless you say at the end of it, you know, and that's great wank material for me as well. I know it's just me and for night.
I'm just thinking about community guidelines and things like that. You know,
didn't I have pictures of half-naked birds on bombers and stuff?
They did, but it was a different time, Tony, I think.
Yeah, people were killing each other. It was fine. They had other problems.
Times have changed a little bit, I'm told.
Oh, drat.
Tornado Girl, bless her, says Andy's covering his chestnuts again.
What does that mean?
Means he's having a little tickle with that middle finger.
You're cupping.
Oh, he's going for it now. Oof.
Hamsters in teacups.
Because I'm stressed, that's why.
You ain't rubbed your neck yet. You ain't that stressed.
Do you have like breakout whenever you have to deal with me?
No, I don't. No, just general stress all the time for some reason.
Yeah.
The stress of being alive.
That is quite stressful.
I would suggest spending at least one day a week as Daniel Radcliffe just to get rid of that stress.
Yeah, offload it into other girls.
Walk around with your wand and just waggle it around.
Honestly, you need to do that, bro. It will work for you. I guarantee you go out.
See, you want a secondary channel? It's going to be called this vlog called Being Daniel, and you just walk around with your glasses.
Friends are supposed to give you good advice. This does not sound like good advice to
get laid.
You can start off small by going, do a northern thing, go into a chip shop, ask for some free chips because you're Daniel Radcliffe, and sign a couple of autographs. And then build up.
I bet you could get signatures and everything. It'd be well funny, wouldn't it?
I don't want any of this.
Will you at least meet my friend Kelsey? You know, the dancing Hermione on Instagram and Twitter.
What?
She would love to.
Yeah, you should set up a little Twitter, little.
Yeah, she'll dance around you, and you look like Radcliffe.
No, I'm fine.
You need to do this. You know, you're seriously.
And she's northern as well.
No, I've got
a really cool girl.
I've got higher aspirations than being a Daniel Radcliffe lookalike, but I appreciate the advice.
Do the aspirations get higher than that? Like, what are you thinking of?
You're on Let's Go now. The only way is up.
I do it. You could stand outside cinemas when he's got a film.
Didn't he have his cock out next to a horse? What was that?
That's exactly the thing. You see, if your income is reliant on being a lookalike of someone, and then all of a sudden, he does a Jimmy Savile on you, you're out of work forever, aren't you? I imagine there's not many Jimmy Savile on you.
You can only molest children if you aren't a child.
I imagine there's not many Gary Glitter lookalikes around making money these days.
Welcome to the Patreon side.
I bet David has no clue who Jimmy Savile is.
No. You can only molest. Fucking hell. I've nothing to say anymore.
Jimmy Savile is what would he be the equivalent of in like America?
Gary Glitter. No, he's English.
More worse Harvey Weinstein, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Harvey Weinstein has been accused of raping any corpses.
Yeah, or kids.
Or girls.
What the heck?
Kids.
Well, did he have a go on a corpse as well?
Yeah, that was the suggestion. He did things down in the morgue because he had all access to that hospital.
What, Rolf? Oh no, Jimmy.
Rolf Harry.
I thought we were talking about Rolf's cartoon club then, because he was a bit like that, and wasn't he? Fucking hell.
I had a signed picture from Rolf who drew me a Rolf Farouk, which I cannot display anymore.
Just so that David understands, there's anyone who worked on TV in the 1970s in the UK is in jail now for some kind of
for sex offences.
Sex offences, yeah. That's who they're talking about.
Well worth $3.
Thanks for joining the Patreon, Dave.
Where we talk about Jimmy Savile, Gary Glitter.
Yeah. That's
have we actually talked about drones or anything like that?
Netflix asked a while ago, what do we need to do to get you lot all together to make a shed load of flying content?
You need to drug Andy RC because he doesn't leave his house.
Andy refuses to leave the house. It's all his fault.
The weather probably is the limiting one.
Have you tried
Andy's
not
like
living
Mr.
up north?
Andy's like Mr. T, except instead of planes, it's the rest of the world.
You ain't gonna get me outside, fool.
As you all say, sat in your houses right now on the internet.
I'm gonna go see Frank tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with Frank tomorrow for a change, and I'm staying around his.
Yep, that's a good point.
The problem that we've got is it's dark. It's going to be dark at 3 p.m. soon. But when it's light, it's going to snow and rain.
That's the northern factor coming in. If you come down south, it's always sunny.
It does. It's worse down there. You promised me this.
You're pathetic.
Got to Mini-Ash.
David lives in Sweden. There's only like 3 minutes of daylight. He's constantly depressed.
Actually, we had 12 minutes during December last year. And I was very happy with that.
Oh yeah.
And he spent all that time just trying to set up his high-speed camera.
Yeah.
That is literally why I couldn't live in Sweden. Like summers are brilliant, but the winters
great.
are...
You like the women though, didn't you, Frank? Well,
Yeah, of course. But yeah,
So I guess there's a time in the summer where it's dark for 12 minutes. Then is that?
Yeah. That's
not
why
Iceland.
Summers are brilliant because it's just like it never gets darker than like evening, so you can just go out and be out as late as you want, and it's just like you haven't been out too late.
It's like those Twilight films. David sparkles in the summer.
We should go there and go out then in the summer.
There's a fly-in during the summer up and towards the northern part of Sweden, which they fly. The person that flies the most during 24 hours wins, because you can fly during the night because it's like the sun is still up. It just goes in a circle.
That is fucked up.
We need to do that.
It really is.
There you go. That's what we need to do for the LDO. Get us all together. Go to Sweden and fly 24 hours.
And
So how are the laws in Sweden now? Because previously you flew your plane into the town hall and they gave you a celebration bit in the local paper. Is it still the same? Are they still that happy to see people flying stuff?
No.
I'm sensing that's a no.
After rocket knife and stuff.
You on a list?
It's a lot better because during one time you couldn't put a camera on anything flying. It counted as a surveillance camera then, and to be able to have a surveillance camera outdoors, you have to apply for a permit. To get the permit, you have to have valid reason to install that camera at that place. If you move it around, so like you couldn't do it legally, but then they changed it like 6 months later, so now it's fine again. You do things, but you still have to have the military look at your pictures or get a certificate so you can look at your own video, so you don't show any military secrets, which we don't have if Google Earth. And otherwise, it's fine. You need the ham license for most of the FPV stuff that we do, but yeah, scared about drones now, I guess. I don't know. Still big, the city the city is that you're flying in. I guess they would probably not mind it too much where I live because there's like 4 people.
Well, so you have to examine yourself.
Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah.
That's just what you do late at night, Jack.
Yeah. Me and my sock. Well, I got the sock. The sock kind of judges. What was I going to say? I really want to one day see that bit of airplane outside your house in real life.
Oh, it's great.
Can I send you some stickers?
Yeah.
I think I remember where you live. When are you going home? Have you been extradited?
December. I'll be home at around December, at least 20th.
Should I just write the letter to Joe? Give this to David if and when you see him. I'm sorry for your loss. You're better off. You've got the dogs. You'll be okay. You have still got the dogs.
Yeah, I love my dog. As soon as we get the downstairs, we can start having more people over. It would be really nice. We have a whole room downstairs that we're gonna have like a sleeping hall kind of a thing, like very easily get loads of beds out and just have groups of people staying. It would be very nice.
Nice.
Sounds good.
So you could all come and fly in the backyard.
Yay! Lose all our quads in the field. In the corn or whatever the hell it is.
I want to do the 24-hour thing now.
It's kind of cool, right?
So good.
Yeah.
Underflucht is asking, how does the daylight in Sweden square away with the flat Earth theory, Tony?
No comment.
Oh,
Tony,
boy.
have you ever had sex for 24 hours? You seem like the sort of person that would give that a go.
I would give it a go, you know.
You haven't tried it?
Not that long.
24 seconds, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like a good idea at the time, and then you finish and you're just like, I'll just have a nap for a while. That's it.
That counts. I haven't left the bed.
Exactly.
Tone, what is that weird blue dot on the back of your blinds?
What? What this?
No, move your head. There.
Make a noise, Tony.
What there?
There, yeah, I see it.
There's no blue dot.
There's a spy camera. It's looking at you.
Or a laser.
I can see it on there. It may be. Is it this?
It's the lizards.
No.
No.
I don't know, man.
Go over there. Tell us what it is.
This is
Not move. If you move the camera, it stays still.
This is a great start to a horror
Poke
movie.
it. Poke
Go
it.
and look.
Poke it, Tony. Find out what it is.
Over there. When
Is it
I look like
glitter?
that, in there, there's something, but in there, there's not.
Well,
What
go
is
put
it?
your finger on where it is, and we'll see if it appears on your finger or it stays underneath.
It's like that horror. Have you seen that horror movie that is basically a Google Hangout?
Oh,
Yeah.
No, it's behind your finger.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
there. It's on the thing. Go investigate.
Go get it,
Nothing
Tony.
over there.
Get it.
Go. Don't be scared. We're all with you. Go on.
Go.
Off you go.
You've got the dogs.
There ain't nothing over there.
Prove it.
Here it is.
Well, I'm going to turn all the lights off and see what happens.
The aliens.
Well, that will make the ghosts appear. Don't turn the lights off.
The orange.
Poor Tony.
He's still there.
It's even brighter.
Got brighter.
Ah!
It's still there.
It's
What is
definitely
it?
there now.
Right.
What
Go
is
poke
it?
it. Go poke it.
Go and have a look.
No.
Oh my god.
I'd want to know if I had like a haunted thing in my house. I'd go and investigate it.
What's interesting is that it doesn't get brighter when his
Is
laptop
it
screen
Danny's
gets brighter.
demon? He's
Yeah.
left his phone and has joined your blinds.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. What is this? This sounds fucking nuts. You and Ghost Pussy.
Ghost
That's my-
pussy.
No, yeah, that's my new name for him. Yeah. What happened? You insulted a demon, and now it haunts his phone or something.
It haunts him, not me.
And you won't apologise, David.
If I apologise, it might go away.
David, have you ever heard of any? No wonder you don't come and visit. I'm so sorry.
Stop presenting me.
Go and investigate it then.
Tony, just poke it.
No.
Poke the blinds, see what happens.
I'm
Is
not
it the-
going over there anymore.
Prove you're not scared of poking the blind.
Ooh, look at that. If I do that, it's gone.
That's because it's behind you. This is perspective again. Get the sheep out quickly.
These are really small. That thing is still over there. Fucking get over there. Really small. God, it's like I thought Tony would be like a cat with a laser pen. I thought he'd be like,
Not quite.
oh,
Poor Tony.
oh, God, right. It is. I think we've now done our quota, guys. Thank you very much for tuning into the bonus episode of Let's Drone Out.
Was that a bonus? I feel sorry for people.
Yeah.
It's fine. You talked about Jimmy Savile, and we found out about Ghost Pussy. Joker Vision. Dave, it's been a pleasure chatting to you, man. I've really missed you, as you can tell, making potatoes fly.
Yeah, likewise, man.
So, yeah. You've been joined by Andrew/Frank, who's slightly cold.
Bye.
Andy RC, who's a
Good
shit.
evening.
Who's a shit me.
Good evening.
Why were you so awful at being me?
Because you're awful at being you, Jack. So it was quite accurate.
How does that make
That's
sense?
fucking spot on,
What?
then.
I fail at being me.
Oh my gosh.
David Vinderstall,
Cha cha.
Tony,
Bonjour.
What is that thing?
Ooh. E.T. Phone home.
Curry Kitten.
Bye-bye.
I've been Jack, bright until I fly. Thank you and good night. Thanks, guys. Thanks for supporting us. I sincerely love you guys. You're the best.
Jack, you're closest. You need to drive up to Tony's now and poke those blinds.
Yes.
I've always wanted to go like take Tony's ladders off his van at night and fucking climb up there and start shining lights in and being like, oh, with an alien mask on.
My alarm would go off at
4 in the
I'd see
morning.
It was you idiot. And I'd
At
go,
4
just
in the
look
morning.
at my phone and go, oh, it's that prick trying to fucking get my ladders
The
off my
fucking
van.
dogs don't even do anything. Even the dogs look at me like, what is that?
Security cameras here, you know.
Oh, I'm sure I could get.
Thank you, patrons, patronizers, all of you lot.
Are we still live?
Bye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.